Let's go to Scott's story. Starts off, we moved to New Zealand 4 years ago from the USA to the city of Wellington. After 2 years in the city, we decided to head up to the Kapiti Coast to a town called, I'm going to butcher it. You know how to say it?
No.
Okay. Waikene? I'm going to say Waikene. There we go. For some more outdoor beach lifestyle. Unfortunately, after we'd gotten there, we found out that the town was nicknamed God's Waiting Room and was a big retirement community, but up and coming with families. To put it another way, the funeral home business is very busy. We got a lot of bang for our buck being out of the city, and the home was an incredible lodge-style home built in the 1980s. The original couple built it as a retirement project. The husband, however, passed, and the wife spent her remaining days there until she was put into a nursing home, and the children sold the property. The house remained empty for a good year until the new owners bought it and rented it to us. Within 1 month of living there, on May 1st, I felt a presence in the garage with me. I'm open to the paranormal, but had never experienced anything before. The garage was a custom-built garage with a whole other workshop area with handcrafted workbench area. You could tell the previous owner spent a lot of time and effort on it. I've worked in many garages throughout my lifetime on my cars, but this presence made the hairs stand up on the back of my neck. It made me feel like I was not welcome. Upon exiting the garage, the door slammed behind me. It wasn't windy out, no other doors were open, and I immediately opened the door back up into the pitch blackness and inspected to make sure no one was in there. It just didn't make sense how the door would slam like that, and it wasn't shut far enough to get sucked shut. The velocity was different. It's like someone pushed it hard. The slam was frame shaking. Being open to these things didn't really scare me, but rather it intrigued me. July 1st at 4 a.m. Night footsteps and banging happened on the stairs. The master bedroom shares a wall with the stairs and also has a secret compartment in the walk-in closet that holds the under-stair room filled with old baby cradles and shag carpet. The previous owners. Oh, there isn't much crime at all in New Zealand. The American dad and me jumped out of bed to inspect who was in our house. Grabbed a flashlight and went exploring. Within 10 seconds of the sound, the wife still asleep, I journeyed upstairs to find both kids fast asleep in their beds. I continued a full house search and checked all the windows and doors and went back to my bed and laid awake the rest of the night. July 12th, there's another secret compartment door in the kitchen leading up to the attic space. The house was a little odd in the layout. You could tell the previous owners designed it themselves. Rooms were where they shouldn't be, and you could get lost easily. Anyways, one calm, warmer night, the door of the attic popped open while I was in the kitchen. A rush of cold air and a chill down my spine. Felt like someone was on top of me. It was a strange feeling, something I've never felt before. This happened a few more times randomly. July 13th at 5 a.m., I got up to go to the bathroom, and while passing the bottom step of the staircase, it sounded like somebody stomped on the stairs 2 steps up. This wasn't a normal creak of wood, but there was nobody awake but me. I also checked for any earthquakes in the area the next day with no positive results. Back to 5 a.m., me being groggy, I double-checked kids' room again. No one was awake. Went back to my bed with our door shut but not latched, wife still asleep. Staring at the ceiling, wondering what the large bang was. At that point, I knew something was trying to get my attention. Just as I was thinking that, our bedroom door swung open slowly, as it does when there's a kid awake and entering. I waited for it to open fully, called out both of our boys' names quietly with no answer. I jumped up and saw no one, went directly upstairs, and both kids sound asleep. There were no drafts that I could feel, no windows open. The next evening, I smelled tobacco smoke in the bathroom. Our neighbors are not close, and no one smokes in our house, and no one had been out in the public smoking area to make it smell that strong. July 31st, I was in the garage and packing for a market. I had one more thing to pack, and when looking around the room, saying out loud to myself, what am I missing? A large banner, which was leaning sideways on the wall, tipped over the other way, hitting all the hanging wrenches, making everything swing. At that point, I just said out loud, "Thanks," as that was the missing piece that I had forgotten. At this point, I felt there was something there with us. I didn't want to tell my 4- and 6-year-old boys as to not scare them, as I tell them monsters are definitely not real and please stop waking me up when it rains. It made me laugh because every time something happened, my wife wasn't there or she was asleep. Her not believing in this sort of thing and not interested, she rolled her eyes as I would talk about the things that would happen. Some of our retired neighbors came over to talk, and I ended up asking them about any strange happenings around their house and explained ours. Husband said yes, he has a few instances of ghostly happenings, and the wife slapped his arm as if to shush him. I tried to get more out of him, but then he was zip-lipped after the boss had spoken. This made me laugh again as I felt I was in another bad movie where you just can't get answers and nobody believes you. The activity in our house, I believe, was the deceased husband who built the house, as he always got a feeling of someone chasing me out of the garage that whole 15 months that we lived there for. Not to mention the bedroom activity and the smoking smell. Not sure if he smoked, but a lot of New Zealanders smoke. The non-smoking thing has not caught on here like it has in the U.S. I would get this picture in my head of a small girl, though, screaming at me and acting like a wild beast, charging me to get out of the garage the whole time I lived there. I really couldn't tell if it was bad or good or maybe a mix. It did help me with the banner. The feeling in the garage was not good. Man is supposed to love his garage. I ended up not wanting to go into mine, especially at night. We did find an old camera with the film still inside of it in the closet of that home, and remembered the haunted object stories. I took it out and made an open, loud conversation to my wife so everybody would hear that we were going to send it to the remaining living owner who was in a care facility. Perhaps some old family photos were on there, maybe something her husband wanted to see. After I did that, the strange occurrences stopped. And after a yell in the garage that this is my garage now and you're dead, so get out. I know you're not supposed to taunt ghosts, but something firmly and directly had to be said. So are all these occurrences explainable? I do admit I find the whole ghostly thing very interesting and would gladly welcome any activity. However, after about a month of it being at my home, it started to take me over. I didn't want it to be there anymore. The presence in the garage was a bit freaky, and I'm glad we are gone and moved. But now, will the memory of it all be truth or just the wind? It'd be entertaining to hear your thoughts about this story.
I really would have pressed the neighbor more, because there's something they're hiding. Because there would have been no harm in saying, oh, no, not really. Why? If that were the case. But she shushed him, so that means there's something definitely going on, which is an answer in itself.
I wonder if they're aware of it, because if the wife that lived there after the husband passed was aware of it and was telling the neighbor, oh yeah, my husband's still here.
Sure.
Just neighborly talking, and it was just kind of like, oh, okay, well, let's not talk about that when we're trying to sell the house. But now the people are there. Yeah, I think they're obviously aware of something.
And it doesn't sound like it's bad if it helps find things.
Sure.
But it still sounds like it's just an unwanted presence there.
Yeah, I'd probably a bit possessive about certain areas that still it views as his or its or whatever it is. Yeah, I agree. It doesn't seem like it's a super negative entity. But, so I guess if you wanted to have a ghost experience and come close to it getting bad, he got it.
He did.
He got it. So congratulations, you got a ghost experience. So yeah, and yes, what do I think about it? You had a ghost. You had a ghost. I wonder if there was something on that film that there was a reason, for it, that needed to be found and given back to the family. Interesting.